Hello, Joshua Kylan here. Thought I'd do a update on my inverter generator. First thing is I had to replace the fuel line because the clear plastic line that I had was really hard. And that was only less than 12 hours of use in less than a year. So I had to go with Tygon fuel line. And one thing that you did not know about Tygon fuel line is that it is a derivative of latex. And when I was at Plaza Super One, I wore latex gloves and I got allergic dermatitis, so I had to wear nitrile gloves. So I just used these screw type clamps and there are no leaks. I checked, and I added a fuel shutoff valve. The reason why I did that is because that way I can leave the generator running, shut it off, and let the carburetor run out of fuel. The reason why I did this, because this right here is a combination of fuel shutoff valve and ignition shutoff. So when you turn it off, it shuts the fuel off and shuts the ignition off at the same time. That kind of works against the modern fuels and the carburetors, so I added this. I also, just today, I added this rope. Basically this is, so when this is in there, I can just grab this rope, grab that, and go ahead and recoil. That way this can just lay there and I don't have to reach behind there and try and find it. Another thing I did was I changed the oil only after 12 hours of use. I used this Mobil 1 high mileage 10W30 oil. Takes 0.63 quarts. I'm not sure how many hours are on this generator, and judging by the dirt and filth and what I see, it probably has quite a few hours on it. For people just tuning into this video, the reason why I have this metal plate here is because the recoil went through there in a recoil guide, a plastic piece that broke, and when that breaks, you run the risk of basically chewing through fuel line and you get a fuel leak, which is a nightmare in itself. I don't think you can see it, but yeah, you can. I replaced the vent tube for the pulse line with the Tygon fuel line, and you can see there's a kink in there. And it runs just fine with it. I don't know, because the fuel level is probably about even or a little bit lower than the carb, and all that is the pulse line for the fuel pump. So if it becomes an issue where it starves for fuel when the tank is lower, then I'll probably end up putting the original one back on or figuring something out. I don't really want to run it because I'm indoors. I also did a oil change on the Wisconsin. I put 1.5 quarts, which is 3 pints is what it calls for, but the oil on the dipstick is higher. My guess because I threaded it in before instead of just touching it. I also changed oil on my Tecumseh and my grandpa's tire inflator. One thing that you can do is, sorry, I'm just babbling. One thing you can do instead of buying compressor oil, in a pinch you can get SE number 30 ND. The ND stands for non-detergent and is basically clear oil. It's not colored like this, or basically the non-detergent is specifically for compressor pumps and other things that aren't a combustion type engine, like combustion type is the generator, the Wisconsin, If you need, you could use it on the pump, which, oh, that's probably another thing I gotta do is change the oil on that. And I'll probably end up using the 30 weight non-detergent oil in the pump too. Maybe I might go something different, I'm not totally sure. So, that's basically what's up. It's somewhat hot today, so I have the fan going. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.